Frankie Bridge detailed a terrifying incident when she was pulled over late at night by police during a discussion about Sarah Everard on Friday's Loose Women. The TV personality, 32, who said she was much younger at the time, admitted she crumbled the moment the police officers left and she returned to her car. The panel were discussing Sarah's tragic murder and calls for reform of the police and criminal justice system following police officer Wayne Cousin's sentencing. Frankie admitted that the case did not make her feel any better because when she was confronted by the police she didn't question their intentions. She said, "I've been in a situation before where I've been pulled over and it was two officers and because I wasn't aware that I'd done anything wrong. I was in a car and I was driving through London. And I thought originally, well, I haven't done anything wrong, they must be trying to get past me. So I went over to a new lane and they followed me, carried on driving. And then they put their lights on and I thought, oh gosh, it must be something really bad. I got out of the way again and then I thought, oh, I'll turn down this road and, if it's me that they're after, they'll pull down behind me. And they did. So I ended up down this dark tiny little alley on my own and these two officers got out and they say I've been driving erratically, apparently, and breathalyzed me, and I hadn't been drinking or anything. And then they said, oh, it's because my number plate was too dirty and I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'll get it cleaned straight away. And he said, no, I want you to clean it now. I was like, okay, I'll try and find something in the car. All I could find was a scarf that I had and he went, yep, use that. So I was standing there wiping down my number plate and I kind of acted really calm. It was dark at night, I was a lot younger, and then they left and I just literally crumbled in my car and I was terrified. I remember ringing my mom afterwards. She added, okay, maybe I had done something wrong, I don't know. But when you're in that situation, like Kay said, you don't question things, you don't go, hang on a second, let me call your manager, let me call someone. Sarah's killer Wayne Couzens was jailed for the rest of his life with no chance of parole on Thursday, after he misused his office and authority as a Met officer to kidnap, rape and murder his helpless victim who was simply walking home. Lord Justice Fulford told Couzens he is a warped and self-pitying killer who relied on his position and knowledge of COVID-19 lockdown laws to carry out one of the most shocking crimes in recent history. Sarah's family wept and made a final brave statement to tell Couzens, 48, the world is a safer place without you in it, as he became the first police officer in British history to receive a whole life sentence. The family wiped away their tears and stood to face him as he learned he would die in prison and was taken to the cells. Accusing him of eroding public trust in police and making women more frightened to walk the streets, the judge said, Sarah Everard was a wholly blameless victim of a grotesque series of offences, adding, she was simply walking home. The judge made the killer stand and face the court, but he kept his head bowed, as he handed down a whole life term reserved for around 70 of Britain's most dangerous criminals, including serial killers and terrorists. He said, Wayne Couzens, you kidnapped, raped and murdered Sarah Everard, having long planned a violent sexual assault on a yet-to-be-selected victim who you intended to coerce into your custody. You have irretrievably damaged the lives of Sarah Everard's family and friends, you have eroded the confidence that the public are entitled to have in the police forces of England and Wales. I have seen no evidence of genuine contrition on your part as opposed to evident self-pity and attempts by you to avoid or minimize the proper consequences of what you have done." Outside the Old Bailey, his former boss Cressida Dick refused to resign but admitted the now-sacked PC had brought shame on the Met and damaged the precious bond of trust between the public and police. She said, "Sarah's kidnap, rape and murder was one of the most dreadful events in the 190-year history of the Metropolitan Police Service. There are no words that can fully express the fury and sadness we feel about what happened to Sarah. I am so sorry," adding, "Speaking frankly, as an organization, we have been rocked. I absolutely know that there are those that feel their trust in us is shaken." Scotland Yard has ended a policy of allowing plainclothes officers to patrol alone, after Cousins used it to stage the arrest of Miss Everard before raping and strangling her with his police-issue belt. He then set fire to her body in Kent Woodland. People will also be allowed to call the police control room to check the officer and their warrant card is genuine, as experts predicted the lack of trust may lead to women running away if arrested. The Met faces grave questions about how a twisted predator with a history of flashing and addiction to violent porn remained in their midst and was even given the job of an armed officer guarding London's embassies.